The battle for the 8th seed in the Western Conference more intriguing than ever. Many top teams have been cruising and just waiting for the postseason, but a couple players made huge names for themselves in the bubble, giving fans something to be optimistic about going forward. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. These past 10 days have been filled with surprises. Here are 5 players breaking out in the bubble, starting with TJ Warren, who's been the best player in the bubble, absolutely putting up insane numbers, a walking bucket, one of the most overlooked players for a couple seasons, especially for the pathetic Phoenix Suns, who stupidly traded the 6'8" walking bucket for cash considerations, and now he's letting the world know what he's made of, the MVP of the regular season bubble. The Pacers have a chance to get out of the first round because of Warren, having more recognition than he ever has the previous 6 years, averaging nearly 35 points, 6.5 rebounds, an absurd 60.5% shooting from the field, 1.6 steals, 1.4 blocks. Indiana's 4-1 in Orlando so far. The only game they lost, Warren only had 16 points. Other than that, netting between 32 to 53 a game. Absurd! The first month of August, the former NC State standout didn't miss in the first half against the Magic after scoring a career-high 53 points against the Sixers on 9 triples. If you were to guess who'd be the first player to drop 50 in the bubble, many would predict James Harden. Nobody would have picked Warren even if there were 20 options. Closing out in crunch time against the Lakers, being the best player on the court with a 39-piece, becoming a dangerous outside threat, Warren never averaged more than 1.3 made threes in any previous months this season, now averaging 4 made triples, absolutely scary. Indiana will face Miami next on Monday with his much anticipated beef with Jimmy Butler. After Jimmy said he's nowhere near his level, Warren has been a man possessed. The Phoenix Suns should be ashamed of letting him go. With Warren's great outside shooting, he's just playing within the flow of the game. If his team was to face Miami in the first round of the postseason, it could go 7 games. If he keeps up his performance over the next couple seasons, Warren's clearly the best bargain in the NBA. Will he keep this up, or is it just a one-hit wonder? Future All-Star 2021, only time will tell. Michael Porter Jr., who continues to get better and better game by game. Some of the players other teams selected before him have made regrettable decisions, it appears, especially for Knicks fans, who continues to be upset time and time again, being a risk factor for his past injuries. The 6'10" forward has all the talent in the world, the number 2 player in high school. For the banged up Nuggets, Porter averaged 25.6 points, over 10 rebounds on 54% shooting, over 5 games, 5 stars for a team likely to finish as the 3rd seed in the conference. Had a subpar first game against the Heat, 11 points. His last 4 games, 29.3 points, 12.5 boards on over 56% shooting. His basketball skills was never a question. Also being locked in and being committed on the defensive side of the ball, crashing the glass, hyper athletic, and can knock down threes. Going forward, there will be continued talks whether MPJ will be the 2nd best player on the Nuggets roster. The 22-year-old also playing nearly 40 minutes a game in the bubble. After barely playing the whole season, many have barked at head coach Mike Malone for not letting him play, but Porter's been unleashed and there's no going back. Using his height to pull offensive rebounds over smaller opponents, can handle the ball, play without the ball, and get easy layups on backdoor cuts from the genius passing of Nikola Jokic. Compared to Kevin Durant in high school, the whole world was shocked that he dropped all the way to the 14th pick, projected top 3 way before the lottery. MPJ recently joined Trae Young and Blake Griffin as the only rookie since 2000 with back-to-back 30-point double-doubles. If he keeps up the consistency, MPJ might just be an all-star next season. Sky's the limit for him. Trent Jr., an absolute sniper and the answer needed for the Trailblazers fighting for a spot in the playoffs. The 6'5" shooting guard doesn't shine away from taking jumpers after averaging less than 3 points as a rookie. The 2nd-year shooter putting up 20.6 points on over 57% shooting, 62 from 3 over the last 5 games, going 3-2, made between 4 to 7 3-pointers, converting more than half of them each of the 5 games, showing tons of confidence. Still just 21 years old, picked 37 by the Kings, now proving he can be a useful starter in the league, striving in an environment with no fans. Perhaps we just discovered certain players are more comfortable without thousands of loud people present in games. Having some words for Paul George, engaging in trash talk, the confidence and attitude certainly earned the respects of many around the league. Of all the Duke players in the 2018 roster in the NBA right now, who would have thought Trent Jr. is the most useful? Marvin Bagley's been banged up, looking like a disaster, picked ahead of Doncic, an absolute travesty. While While Trent will need to continue making shots, a huge developmental piece, if Lillard and McCollum continues to stay with the franchise for the coming years, Trent Jr.'s performance will be a key reason why Portland can remain a threat in the Western Conference. Grayson Allen, another former Dookie, Memphis fighting for their postseason lives, hanging in the balance momentarily. The 6'4" guard finally having some success in the big leagues, being hated in college and still hated for various reasons. Averaged 14.6 points on 53% shooting the last 6 games. A lot of people forgot about him after leaving Duke, but now making an impact, made 6 3-pointers against Utah. Nobody saw that coming, proving why he was worthy of being a first-round pick. If Allen can turn into one of those scrappy players for a good team off the bench, his fame will rise again. Derrick White, 3-2 in the bubble, fighting for the franchise's 21-year postseason streak. The 6'4" guard put up 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists in the 5 games, reached 20 plus 4 of those games, making over 45% of his threes on 8.5 attempts. The 26-year-old spent most of his season off the bench, flourishing under Pop, now the focal point of the team's offense, stepping up big time without LaMarcus Aldridge. Honorable mentions includes Daniel House, averaging nearly 17 points over 4 games with the Rockets, connecting on 4 triples, a key piece to the small ball lineup for a guy who's been waived many times. Nobody knew if he was going to be in the NBA last year, but proven to be a vital starting piece for the team, while Troy Brown of the Washington Wizards also putting up nearly 17 a game. I don't count him much since the Wizards aren't playing for anything. None of their losses have been close, putting up empty numbers, but at least showing some optimism for next season. And Tibby Cameroon of the Nets, with half their roster unable to suit up, they simply need bodies to play out the rest of the season. Somebody's got to put the ball in the basket. Which of these players surprised you most so far? What are some of your takeaways from the bubble? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe for more content, more good stuff coming soon. I love all of you. See you next time.